Baxter Morton here with another physiognomy video. Today I'm going to be doing Charles White, or MoistCr1TiKaL. It's a popular streamer, YouTuber. I'm sure you know him, over 10 million subscribers. Also a musical artist on the side. Pretty interesting face, I'd say. He's definitely a streamer, I'll say that before we get into it. So I'm going to start with the side profile. He has an obtuse angle to his jaw, has a high rounded forehead, chin that's about level with the forehead. That is the choleric. So on the whole, he's bossy, willful, commanding, thinks and plans in the long term. It's very high energy, has high drive, high sex drive as well. But he does have a little bit of bowing, a little bit of convexity to his face. That is a bow of melancholy. This means he has some extra wit, creativity, imagination, sensitivity. It's probably why he's not completely cold, unlikable, unfeeling guy. Now, onto his face shape. It's a little hard to tell because of his beard mostly, but I'd say he probably has a Neptune face shape. That's the oblong face shape. Kind of like an oval, but a bit longer, a bit more stretched out. The Neptune personality is characterized by being very spiritual, very independent, having their own internal morality, very introspective, wants to find the meaning in things, the symbolism. I looked at some of his older pictures. He seems to have more of a Venus face shape then, so he might be a combination of both. Maybe the beard's hiding it. The Venus face shape is characterized by being interested in love, art, beauty, social causes. They're a very romantic face shape. And I think he's talked about being a kind of weird, romantic guy, trying to get with women, trying to be a mysterious, cool guy, I guess. You know, I would have thought that he was a Mercury face, especially with his wittiness, his kind of YouTube persona, make you think he's this sensitive, witty, nervous guy. But I really don't see a triangular element. I don't see any pointiness to the chin. It's actually pretty flat, I'd say. His face is a lot rounder. It's not very pointy. He doesn't have a big forehead. It kind of goes in the forehead. So, yeah, I think it's Neptune. So now I'm going to do the individual features starting from the top down. Starting with his eyebrows, very flat, very straight. Those are pretty stubborn, logical eyebrows. Also very thick, has a lot of energy, a lot of drive, probably sex drive as well. They're also quite high set, meaning he needs a lot of time to form an opinion on something, wants to take in all the details. Also means he has pretty high standards, maybe a bit haughty. They're also fairly long, so he is a planner. He likes to plan ahead. He doesn't like to do things on a whim. Now, onto his eyes. I'd say some pictures, they look a bit negative. Some they look a bit more positive. I'd say probably in between. Maybe a bit negative on the right side, about neutral on the left. So he presents as a lot more people-pleasing, while in his personal life he's a bit more assertive, has more of a balanced view of other people. They're a bit on the rounder side, so I'd say he leans towards having more of a emotional worldview, sees the world through his emotions. That connects with the Neptune face, who also sees the world through their morality. I also see in some photos he has a bit of whites below the eyes. That is called senpaku eyes. This means he has some underlying stress that he's kind of covering up, or might be bubbling under the surface. You know, he's a very popular YouTuber, so kind of makes sense. Probably has a lot of pressure on him. Might be getting to him a bit. They're a bit on the wider set side, so I'd say he leans to be more spacey, tolerant, worse with details, more big picture focused. Now for his nose, very long, very long. Means he's very thoughtful, very patient, thinks before he acts. This can also mean that instead of going out and doing stuff, he might just think about it a lot, not actually ever do it. But also means what he says is very thought out, very thoughtful, considerate. The nose bridge is actually very thin. He's very sensitive. He's not stress resistant at all. If under pressure, he would be very overwhelmed. Also looks like a slight nose bump, maybe some reactivity. The tip is also very round, so he's a kind person, a giving person. I don't imagine he's very stingy with his money. Now, about his philtrum, from what I can see, it's pretty thin, which means he has a strong moral impulse, puts principle over pleasure. Again, fits with the Neptune face, the morality. Now for the mouth, actually pretty small, means he's naturally quiet, reserved, a bit hesitant to get what he wants out of life. The lower lip is very full. He's very in touch with his inner self, very in his own emotions. His upper lip, not so much. Maybe a bit more hesitant to speak his mind, especially with the more negative canthal tilt on the right side. His upper lip has a very prominent Cupid's bow if you look past the beard. This is the Venus upper lip, fairly rare upper lip shape. This means his communication style is warm, seductive, smooth talking, silver tongue. And I've watched his videos. He has kind of a way with words, like he has a very extensive vocabulary, knows what kind of words to use to get his point across. Also probably why I thought he was maybe a Mercury face, because he has this very witty style of talking. Now onto his ears. They're covered by the hair now, but if you look at past photos, very big at the top especially. So very interested in the intellectual, the philosophical, abstract, but also very large earlobes, very strong material interests, or maybe hedonistic, I don't know. But that's like money, that's sex, that's any kind of thing like that. The largeness of the ears also means he's not easily influenced. He's very set in his own ways. Now, one last thing I'm going to mention is he has a widow's peak that stands for luck. It's a bit more superstitious, but I think it does apply to him. So now what I'm going to do for this final part, I'm going to make composites of the left and right side. The left is the personal life or the inner self. The right is the outer self or the professional life. So as you can see, the right side, how he presents to the world, a little nerdy looking. The negative canthal tilt is a lot more obvious here. His nose is a bit rounder. He presents as more kind. Eyes are a bit closer set, a bit more nitpicky. Mouth is a little smaller, so more quiet. Here he looks a lot more like a Mercury face person. That's the triangular face. So he's presenting as more witty, nervous, sensitive, imaginative, creative. This is very much the face shape of a performer, an entertainer. But then you look at the left side, a lot more masculine, a lot more square. Looks almost Martian, I'd say. Some more combative, aggressive. Some more gregarious, more friendly. The eye tilt is about neutral here, actually. So he has a balanced view of other people. The eyes are wider set, so he's more focused on the bigger picture, not the small details. He's a bit more tolerant, a bit more spacey. Now, an interesting thing I noticed while making these composites is that he actually turns his left side to the camera a lot. So subconsciously, he's trying to show you more of his personal self, less of his professional self. He's trying to show you this more gregarious, friendly, masculine inner self, while trying to hide more of the nerdy, kind of weird, goofy right side, his outer persona. Now I know back in the day he was a bit more edgy, a bit more mean. He's kind of in the same vein as Leafy is here a bit. Not nearly as bad as that guy, but your physiognomy does not change immediately. So maybe he has a bit of that left over, where his left side is still more of a mean, aggressive sort of person. So overall, I'd say he's very morally convicted. He's a very just moral guy. It's shown with the Neptune face and the philtrum. Also probably a bit people-pleasing as well. I know that's something people criticize him for, like say he has grass is green takes. Probably not solely because he's trying to appeal to people. He has those internal morals of the Neptune face, so he's not gonna lie about what he thinks. Full lips are also gonna show that. With this physiognomy, you can kind of see why he was so successful as a streamer, as a YouTuber, even as a musical artist, I guess. Don't know if that's too popular. But he's choleric. He has this long-term energy. He has this wit, this sensitivity. He has good communication style. He's a good communicator. He's actually in touch with his inner self, unlike the other people I've analyzed so far. That Venus upper lip and that melancholic element, it's really going to make him a very likable person. He seems like a pretty solid guy, actually, especially compared to, again, the other people I've analyzed so far, which is just Chud the Builder and iDubbbz, which I guess is not very high bar, but I've also looked at a bunch of other celebrity faces and he has pretty good physiognomy. So yeah, that's about all. I'd say pretty good physiognomy, good personality, good for being a YouTuber. Yeah.